Hey everyone, welcome back to another Reactions with Erin video. This video is going to be a little bit different. This isn't quite, my usual kind of video, but I was going to try this and see what you guys think of it. Rather than listening to music, in this video I will be talking about an album. And the album I'm wanting to talk about tonight is Everywhere at the End of Time by an artist called The Caretaker. The Caretaker, his real name is Leland Kirby, but his stage name is The Caretaker. And this was quite the project that he put together over like about 4 years period of time. And what this album truly is Alzheimer's disease depicted in music form. Now, I've mentioned on my channel before that I'm a nurse, so as a nurse, I see this disease like in real life with some of the people I work with. So I found this really interesting that he was like trying to explain this disease through something that everyone can relate to, music. There are no lyrics to this music. There's no vocals. So this is something that literally every person can understand regardless of what language you speak, which is awesome. The cover art was done by his friend Ivan Seal. Now the cover is kind of interesting. I'm going to share my screen here and I'm going to show you guys what some of the cover art looks like, and I think you guys will get what I mean when I say it's kind of interesting. So here are the different covers. So right here, this one right here, this is the cover art for stage 1. There are 6 stages in this, or 6, I think he does call it stages. There are 6 stages of this album, and each stage is meant to represent one stage of Alzheimer's disease. Now, I've heard Alzheimer's disease explained in 2 ways. I've heard some people only describe it in 3 stages: mild, moderate, advanced, or early, moderate, advanced. And that's okay, but I personally like the description of the 7 stages better. And the reason there is no 7th stage on here is 7th stage is pretty much death. So yeah, I find the 7-stage explanation a little more thorough, a little more descriptive, if you will. So, like I said, the 3-stage description is okay, but I personally prefer the 7-stage description. So, back to the cover art. Right here, this picture, hope you guys can see this. It should be pretty big, because it's taking up most of my screen. So this, it's like, you can tell what it is. Ultimately, it looks like a newspaper or a magazine rolled up. But, there's no font on it. So you're not 100% sure, but you kind of get the idea. I guess it could be like a roll of paper towels, maybe. Kind of looks like a roll of paper towels sitting on the counter a little bit. But the first thing I thought of when I saw this was a newspaper, rolled up newspaper. So if you guys would like to, type in the comments below what you think, what you see when you see each of these pictures. So let's go over here to the right, to stage 2. Now this, it's getting a little bit more abstract. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go back to the left for a second. Stage 1, because I want to describe the music too. The music is pretty much just a typical ballroom type music. Let's do something. I can pull this up. We can listen to a little bit of music. This whole album is 6.5 hours. So it's definitely not something that you're just going to sit down and listen to straight through. But it's a great concept album because it tells a story. It tells the story of Alzheimer's, and it builds on that concept. Okay, so sorry, this might take a minute to load because it's so long. Okay, here we go. This is what stage 1 sounds like. It's kind of just don't scream as well as I Okay, I think you get the point there. So yeah, it's just kind of typical 30s, 40s ballroom music that you would expect your grandparents to have listened to. You know, if you're someone my age, if you're a little bit older than me, maybe something your parents listened to when they were young. So that is stage 1. Then we go over here to stage 2. Now, this gets a little bit more abstract. And it gets more and more abstract the further we get into this album. Stage 2 kind of looks like a vase. You know, there's flowers sticking out of the top, so I think vase. But then it's like I look down here, and I don't know about you, but to me this almost looks like a skirt. So this almost kind of looks like a woman standing like at the base of a branch maybe. And then this almost looks like a man on the other side standing under a branch. So you get the general idea of what it is, but you're not sure. And that's just, you know, depicting more of that mental decline that comes with the second stage of Alzheimer's. And let's go to some music from stage 2. Some of the titles are interesting also. So we see stage 2 is a little slower, a little more melancholy, but it's still, you know, it's still music, like from that era, but I picked up on a little bit more static in the background. I don't know about you. It was a little bit more distorted. I mean, this music is going to be distorted anyway because it's supposed to sound like it's out of the 30s or 40s, but it sounds a little bit more distorted than the first stage. And that's, you know, continuing with this idea of mental decline. Then we go on to stage 3. Now this is really getting more abstract. Kind of looks like a tree, maybe a bush. You know, I kind of see like flower petals almost, so maybe like a rose bush. I would tend to think something nature because it's got a blue background, almost like the sky, but you're not totally sure what it is. Like with stage 2 over here, you got the general idea, but this, and you still kind of get the general idea, but it's more confusing to your brain. This is stage 3 music here. those echoes, those distortions, and the static also seemed to be coming through more this time. So that's stage 3, the person is losing more and more of their mind. Stage 4, down here. What do you guys see? I personally see a woman from the back. She's got her hair up in a ponytail, kind of like I have my hair right now. You can see that looks like a shoulder, a profile, and then this looks like hair pulled up to me. But I'd be curious to see what you guys see. It's like the person is turned away. All you see is their back. Kind of implying that a part of them is gone. Let's go to some stage 4 music. Creepy, isn't it? It's almost like it's not music anymore. At one point I heard a car horn, I heard some static, just a bunch of background noise. And then instead of, up until now, it's been the background noise, the static, all that has been in the background, and the music has been in front. Now I feel like it's the background sounds in the front and the music in the back. You can still hear the music, but it's kind of drowned out by all these sounds. Stage 5. What do you guys see in this picture? I see a couple things. So at first, it kind of looks like someone on like a seahorse almost up here, or a horse or a bronc or something. Kind of looks like an arm there, like with a rein. But then if I look over here, I see the woman again. Here's her profile. This is her ponytail, but she's not filled in. See that empty space in there? More of the person is gone. What do you guys see in stage 5, cover art? Let's go to some stage 5 sounds. It's so confusing. You really can't even hear the music anymore. It's just background noise. By stage 5, a person is pretty far into dementia. They have forgotten some friends, some family. It's really sad. One time I was at work and this one patient I was taking care of her daughter was visiting. Let's call her Anne. The daughter's name is Anne. Well, this person, this patient, asks for Anne right to Anne's face. And Anne is like, Mom, I'm Anne. And then this person realizes her mistake and, kind of laughs and is like, oh, yeah. It's so sad. It's so sad to see someone lose their memory. So yeah, by stage 5, they're forgetting a lot of things. They may have even forgotten some of their children or their spouse even. There's a channel, I forget what it's called. It's really good though. It's about the son, probably in his 40s. His mom is going through dementia, Alzheimer's, and he films her journey basically. And he wanted to, spread awareness to Alzheimer's disease. If I think of it, I will link his channel in the description below. It's so good. Definitely hard to watch sometimes. There's a couple videos where he, you can see it really hits him. Like he'll start crying or something, and those videos are really hard to watch. But it's very educational, I guess. He definitely accomplished his goal of bringing people to awareness of Alzheimer's. I'm rambling. Let's go on to stage 6. Possibly the saddest cover art. It's a blank canvas. A shadow of who the person was. This is stage 6. This is right before the person dies. This is when they forget their spouse, their children, their parents. They start to forget how to take a drink of something, how to eat something. Ultimately, they forget how to swallow. And once they get to that point, they're pretty much gone. It's really sad to watch. I've watched it multiple times. It never gets easier. You try to tell yourself it'll get easier, but it doesn't. Still hurts to watch the family go through what they go through. I find it interesting, this depiction of Alzheimer's disease through music. Because as someone who is taking care of Alzheimer's patients, and I've heard this from other people that have taken care of people like with Alzheimer's too. Oftentimes, the last thing that goes for the person is their favorite song. They will have forgotten everything else, but they're sitting there or laying there humming something. Oftentimes a song from their childhood, their young adult days. It's the last memory they have. I don't know why, but it is. And once they stop humming that song, you know it won't be long. Because once they forget that, that's their last memory. So, stage 6 on the album. Where are my notes here? I made a note of the timestamp. So stage 6 is mostly kind of just some quiet sound effects, like some static. Someone playing off in the distance, taking off. And then I wrote down at 6:24:30, which I'm, let's see, about there, is what I call the death song. Literally sounds like how it's depicted when, like, heaven opens up, like in movies. Let me just play it so you can hear what I'm saying. This is supposed to depict literally a person dying. So sad. Once the song is over, let's see if I can find it. It goes to silence. The person is dead. So yeah, that is Everywhere at the End of Time by The Caretaker. Very, very not a lighthearted listen at all. I haven't listened to it all the way through. I suppose I could if you guys want me to. It is 6.5 hours, so if you want to sit down and listen to it, you'll probably have to do it in at least 3 or 4 sessions, I would guess. I did see on another YouTube video someone talked about listening to, because each stage is about an hour, so he talked about, listening to stage 1 in a sitting. Next time you can sit down and listen, do stage 2. So yeah, I just finished The Wall by Pink Floyd, and something like that with lyrics, I feel like you should kind of do in one sitting. Whereas with this, there's no lyrics to it, so it's a little bit easier to jump back in. So I feel like you could separate this a little bit more than you could, say, a Pink Floyd album. But yeah, it's not lighthearted, like I said, by any stretch of the imagination, but definitely educational. Definitely brings awareness to Alzheimer's disease. Or dementia might be the more clinically correct term to use. Just a side note, they cannot diagnose Alzheimer's disease until the person has died, actually, because they look at the brain after the person is dead, and yeah, then that's when they can tell. They can diagnose dementia, but they can't diagnose Alzheimer's disease technically until the person is dead, because they want to rule out any other diseases that have similar effects on the body. So, just a side note there. This video is almost 30 minutes already, so I'm gonna stop there. I hope you guys enjoyed this. A little bit different type of video, but I hope you still enjoyed it. So, Thank you for watching. Erin out. I will see you soon.